Joined this morning with Mitch Alba. You're the owner of Gold Country Auto Restoration up there in Martell?
Yes.
That's what they tell you, right? They let you sign the checks, huh?
All day long.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I think this is so exciting that you're up here, and restoration is, I mean, everybody's into the classics now, and so I think it's a lot of fun. But what is one of the biggest challenges that you have when it comes to restoration? Okay, Mitch.
Exactly. I know. There's a lot to it. No, it's hard to describe. I mean, there's a lot of talent, a lot of effort that goes into recreating, reproducing, the research. Lots of times it's just stuff that's unattainable. So that's kind of the fun of it. You recreate history. You know, and sometimes there was a Sotto Franchini one time back in the 80s that I molded this part out of cardboard and then I recreated it in aluminum and I made it all up and then it fit and it worked. It functioned. It was part of the lower part of a steering box. Well, 5 years later, I get to do the same era car and I Sotto Franchini again, and that box that I made was almost exactly to the T of what, and all I had was my imagination to go by.
Right.
Wow.
So. Thinking of period, because you have to think of, you know, what they were doing, the technology they had, and the material they had to work with.
Right, nothing like today.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right now, well, technology right now is very cheap and labor is expensive, but which is just the opposite of what it was back then. You know, manpower is nothing. You know, you paid a guy a dime an hour and got away with it. And technology was super, super expensive. Right. But recreating histories.
I bet it's
quite
really
fun. Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Yeah. And then teaching young men, you know, because I'm always hiring high school students and such, and teaching them. And I've had them come back 20 years later and just thank me. When, like, you taught me more than my dad ever did, and you know, I got out of binds. And
you have to have a lot of patience.
Well, I'm kind of gifted in that way. Well, sometimes I spend 3, 4, 5 years on a car.
Wow.
You know?
What can I ask you what the most expensive restoration you've ever done, or the highest valued vehicle that you've worked with?
Well, I've worked on 2 of the Bugatti Royales and Hitler's G4. And those are between $15 million, $20 million.
Right.
Wow.
We're
Bugatti, huh?
Yes.
Ooh.
Actually, we have 2 Bugattis in the county right now.
Really?
Yeah, Type 46, which is kind of rare, and a Type 57.
We're not talking about the 78 Camaro with bubbles in the tent here.
No, this is that's me, the 56 Chevy. That was my first car.
We play with those too.
Oh, I love them.
In your showroom was a Duesenberg. Tell us about that.
That was May West Duesenberg. Restored that 4 years ago. We took it to Pebble. We took it to Grand Wailea. We took it to Ironstone, a few other shows. We won Best of Show with that just about everywhere. It was a good car. It was a mess when it was bought. It was purchased by a client of mine about 7 years ago. He paid $1.5 million, didn't even want the car.
Wow.
He wanted a Doble, which I'm restoring from right now. But the woman, the widow of this doctor that owned the car in Florida, wouldn't sell him the car unless he also bought the Duesenberg. And the Duesenberg was a wreck. I had to recreate a head for it. I had to, this thing had been stripped and torn apart and modified in the 50s and hot rod. It was terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've only played with about 25 Duesenbergs in my career, which not many people can say. So.
Right. And I'd never seen one until I'd been to your showroom. So.
Really?
No.
I've seen them in books, but they're quite a unique looking vehicle.
Well, they're all hand-built, all custom-made, each one. You purchased a chassis, essentially, from Duesenberg. And when Duesenberg advertised cars, they didn't have, show a silhouette of a car or whatever. They actually had, like, a gentleman in a hunting suit with a couple dogs and a shotgun, or a woman in fur and a nice cape and, you know, beautiful big hat. That's how Duesenberg
it was a very elite and very only the wealthy could afford them at that
During
time.
the Depression, for somebody to pay $10,000 for a chassis, another $10,000 for a body.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Crazy. Hey, you've got an event coming up tomorrow, Coffee and Cars with Mitch.
Yes.
Okay, and that's going to take place up at your Gold Country Auto Restoration.
Yes, in the parking lot. It's just a little get together. It's me welcoming. It's a thought.
Great.
It's me welcoming the community, trying to get car enthusiasts, trying to give them a reason to get their cars out of the garage. Darn it!
Yeah.
Get them out,
Yeah.
use them, because that's what cars are for. I mean, they're basic transportation, but a lot of us take pride in what we have. And,
Absolutely.
I think
And what time is this event?
it's from 9 to 1.
Great.
Unless it goes longer, I have no idea, because
Great.
this is the first. I'm rolling the dice. Let's see what happens. I'm going to provide coffee and donuts, and and we can all tell lies about how far our
Reminisce.
cars go. It's like the
fun.
old fishing story. Well, I caught it; it was that big, but
Right.
no,
Have
no,
fun.
no,
Have
no.
fun for you.
Any way we can share information on the internet or help a guy out, I'm always available. Don't be afraid to come by and ask for questions, or I'll even give you catalogs if it takes, to help you find parts for your cars.
Great.
Advice is free. You can take it or no leave it.
Yeah.
But if I usually say something that's
Yeah, I'm thinking you're the guy to go
accurate,
with.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, welcome to Amador County. You're a breath of
Absolutely.
fresh air.
I don't know about that.
And, well, we do. We think you're great, and it's going to be a lot of fun just to pop in and check you out.
Yeah, no,
Great.
everybody's always welcome.
Good.
Susie, we got
Thank
to run
you.
to an ad break. We'll be back with the closing of today's show. Stay tuned.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.